Hello everyone, today I want to do a tutorial about quines and daemons. So before I start to teach about them, let me just show you a few examples. Here's a simple spell, well not so simple as you can see by its name, but what it does is basically when I fall down, it will automatically break my fall, and the damage I took was not because of the fall damage, it's because I don't have any media on me. So if I give myself some media, I won't take any fall damage. So that's one spell that I made. And another one, just so I want as an example, this one will do a sound at my position every time this is cast, the Heron's Gambit is cast. And of course there's a lever here to, if I want the circle to be continuous or just to end the spell right here. Okay, so what is a quine? Quine is a spell that when you cast it, you get it back. So let me just a quick demonstration. Here, imagine this squiggly line is a spell. I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out together. Now imagine that when I execute that spell, what I'll get is the exact same spell back to me. So when I'm explaining, what is outside any brackets is something that is being cast. So here this was added to the stack, then I cast it, and this is the new thing I got, the exact same spell. Now, what we need to figure out is what is the spell exactly, that when you cast it, you get it back. When you cast something, it adds things to the stacks, manipulates them, and sometimes it even manipulates the world. So we want that when we cast a spell, we want that when we cast the spell, it will take the spell and cast the spell, but we want the spell to end up on the stack as itself, as the list. The easiest way to do that is to put this in another list, and when that is cast, it will place this whole thing onto the stack. So what I mean is, if I had something like this, when this whole spell is cast, what we will do, it will place this list on the stack, then it will do Heron's Gambit and it will cast it. It will take this and it will see what you drawn there. It will turn this into a list and cast this spell. Now, the issue with this is that it works only once and it's not actually the same spell. These are different, completely different. This one has the spell inside of it. Now, what we can do is instead of putting the part of the spell that we don't know inside the brackets, let's just put the entire thing. So here I'll put a placeholder. I draw it in green. And now, before we cast it, I will take this spell and place it in this placeholder. Now this placeholder is at index 1 of the list, of this list. So what I'll do is I'll write down the number 1 in numeral reflection. Then I'll draw this spell, which is a Fisherman's Gambit, I think, which takes the iota before, and then I'll replace, which means that it will take the spell and place it at index number 1. So when this whole thing is cast, I'll draw it for you real quick. It will place down the number 1. This is a spell. Then it will copy the spell we made and it will insert it instead of that spell. It will replace. So it will take the 1, open this spell up, delete the placeholder and place a spell. Right now this is what it does. And when I cast this spell, it will remove the brackets and I'll have this spell. Now, look at what we've just made. We have the spell that we started with and this spell. Now these two spells look very similar, in my opinion. They both have this squiggly line, it's a placeholder, they both in a spell. It's almost the same. We just have these two brackets and the unknown spell. Now, if only we could remove those. Oh, we can. Now, there is a spell that takes everything out of the list. It's a, I don't know what this spell is called, but it's drawn like this one, like this. Just like that. So we don't know what this spell is, so we can change it. So let's say the squiggly line is equal to some spell plus this spell right here. Now, if we choose that this spell is included, we'll actually need to replace it in all the other ones as well. So let me just draw it in here. Now I made it. And now, once this is cast, it will remove these. And whoa, these are really similar. Now, what we started with, what I said, is that when this spell is cast, it will end up as itself. So, by definition, these two are equal. These two are equal to each other. Now, I know this looks like algebra, what I'm doing, but these two are equal. And what is the difference between them? The start is the same. The squiggly line is not the same. Now, if those are equal, we can just tell that this line is equal to this part of the spell. So I can just take this and replace it. Now these are equal, but what did I just do? I replaced the squiggly line, which means I can replace it, all of the squiggly lines. And now we know that this is a quine. When I cast it, it will return the same thing to me. Now this is currently being cast. I didn't put this in brackets, so let's just go over what it does. So this part I already explained. It just opens the spell up and places it inside itself. And now, to prove that it does work, let's cast it. I draw Herm's Gambit. It opens up the spell, and now let's go over it. First of all, it places this on the stack, which turns into a list. Now it takes everything out of the list. We already see that this is the same as before, and then let's go over it fully. So it does that again. And we end up with the same thing we started with. This is a quine. Now, right now it looks like probably like an Ouroboros, like it executes and then puts itself inside itself. It seems pretty useless, but it's not. We can put anything we want in this spell as long as it doesn't add anything to the stack. So if I put at the end of the spell, I can say teleport me one block forward. And now when I cast this of course won't work because I need to put it in the original spell. So let me do that. Now when I cast this spell, it will gonna put itself it's gonna put itself inside itself, but each time it's gonna also cast this. And now we made a quine that has purpose. Now I need to remind everyone again, it is very important, leaves no trace on the stack. If this leaves something, it will most likely stop working. Now let me explain you how to make a daemon. Now let's imagine that instead of this spell, I'll place here Herm's Gambit. Now, what will it do? Well, first of all, now what happens when I cast it? It's gonna open this up, and then we're gonna remove these, and then it's gonna have this spell. You can see those are the same, but it's gonna cast it again. It's gonna cast it over and over and over again, and because the game doesn't pass over the time, once you cast a spell, the whole world will freeze. Like in Minecraft, you're the main character and the world will freeze and will stop until your spell that you cast is done casting. This spell will most likely crash your game, but I'm not sure. but you probably shouldn't cast it. But editing orb back again, just to show you what happens when you cast a spell. So I'll just do everything I did in the video. And now let's see what happens. Herm's Gambit evaluated too many patterns, so it doesn't crash. If only we could make it so it doesn't cast it all in one tick and we can just like spread it over time. Then we'll have a loop, and that's so useful. Now there is an actual way to do that with hex cassettes. So in hex cassettes, there's a spell. Sorry, it's hard to draw without the hex grid. I ended up with 19 degrees. But this spell, called in quine, I think, I'll show you in Minecraft in a second. It takes in a list of spells, a number, and another number or symbol. I'm not sure, maybe it doesn't even take a third argument. But let's say, for the sake of thinking, it takes in a number, because that's the easiest to explain. So, what it does, it will, and it takes a spell, and it's gonna say, I'm going to cast this spell in this amount of time with this ID. So, it will take up a cassette slot, which I'll show in a moment what is a cassette slot. And we're gonna wait this amount of time before casting this spell. Now, basically what it means is cast with delay. Now, instead of the cast immediately and crash my game, we just need to use the enquine or enquench. I think it's enquine. The enquine spell. So I'm just gonna, as an example, use this spell even though I didn't draw it very well. But what I'm gonna do is, instead of the Helm's Gambit, I'm gonna place this spell, and then I'm gonna take these two numbers. Now it will cast this spell 2 times a second. Now, why 2 times exactly? Because the time parameter it takes is measured in ticks, and 10 ticks is half of a second, because every second has 20 ticks. So it will be every half a second. Now let's go over to Minecraft, and so let me just show you how it's done quickly. So here are the cassette slots that I mentioned earlier. You can click on them to stop the cassette. So as a really quick example, I'll just, this is an impulse spell, and then I'll just say in 5 seconds, which is 100 ticks, with the ID of 0, and then I do the inquine spell. And now you see it's taken up a slot, and when this time is finished, it will finish, free that cassette and cast the spell. So the quine, as you saw in the video, I'll just follow in the whiteboard. I'll just show you exactly what I did there. If you're wondering why this looks weird, I forgot to place it, so I had to do some shenanigans to fix it. I made it so it pushes me forwards because I forgot what I was doing. So here I move like a chicken, and it pushes me forwards every half a second. And as you can see, it's right here. So if I click on it, it will stop. And then the example spell, it's just here you can see it all. Instead of placing it inside itself, I just say do that in the end, and it saves a little bit of space and debugging time. But what it does, it just looks at my velocity, if my down velocity is greater than 3, I think I put it, and it sees that the block below me is not air, it will give me levitation for a quarter of a second. And that's about it. You can copy it if you want, just note that I do not check if I'm in the void or above the height limit, it will just spam errors. So that's about it. See ya. Two more things that editing orb wants to add is that in the spell circle, I use the exact same technique. I create a placeholder, and this is a spell. It just plays a note. And then, because it's a quine, you can just execute it a lot of times. And what I didn't show you, but this spell circle can go on forever, 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 because I have this switch. Pretty good stuff. I let your imagination figure out what you can do with this. And I also wanted to give credit to Celium, to Kylum, my bad, that opened my eyes to the possibilities of the wines, and that's it.